This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com, which, by the way, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Only 20% of my viewers are subscribers. Let me get into my daily news update, which I do almost every day here, as well as on the Hannibal TV Facebook page. Summerslam took place Saturday night with quite a bit of news coming out of the event. Roman Reigns retained his title over John Cena. No surprise there. The surprise happened after the match during Roman Reigns' posing routine. Brock Lesnar's music hit, and according to reports, the crowd went nuts. Lesnar came out in his jeans, his man bun, and his black tank top, and got in Roman Reigns' face until Reigns backed off and left the ring. From what I heard of reports, it looked like Brock Lesnar was going to hold off returning till around WrestleMania time, but maybe with everything heating up with AEW, WWE offered him the right amount to make him come back and give them some star power, because I think Cena is only going to be around until sometime about the Madison Square Garden event that's coming up in September. Goldberg, no surprise, lost his match against Lashley. The reports I read from that match is it was not a good match, and the finish was like a referee stoppage due to a leg injury that Goldberg had or something. It's hard for people to have like sympathy for referee stoppages in professional wrestling, with so much violent sports out there these days, on the internet and on TV. Somebody faking a leg injury and a referee stoppage, it's a little harder to get that crowd sympathy, and apparently the crowd was booing most of that match. It came out that Goldberg makes about $2 million a match in the Observer this week, and he also has 2 matches left on his contract, which goes until the end of 2022. Becky Lynch returned and won the Women's Championship, replacing Sasha Banks against Bianca Belair. So obviously they're trying to get all the star power back they can get. Charlotte won the other women's title, defeating Nikki Ash, who the crowd was shitting on with the superhero gimmick. Apparently during the Thunderdome time when they were using the fake crowd noise, the writers were actually convinced that this was a good gimmick and was getting over. But once they started putting this Nikki Ash superhero crap in front of fans, the fans were booing the hell out of it. So it doesn't surprise me. And showing that Charlotte Flair won the title makes me believe that more likely than not, she definitely asked for the time off for that event in Charlotte a week ago, the WWE house show that she was advertised for and didn't appear at. So you could only guess that WWE knew she wasn't going to be there and didn't say anything, like a lot of companies do when they know that there's going to be a no-show. Smackdown did a 0.55 rating last night. No news on what the AEW rating was for CM Punk's return. Don't know if that's going to come out tomorrow or Monday, but I don't think it's going to beat the 0.55 that Smackdown did. WWE is going to make their return to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to collect that alleged $40 million payoff October the 21st. According to Dave Meltzer, you can expect Bray Wyatt to start in AEW sooner than later. Well, apparently there hasn't been a pen to paper yet. It could be very possible, and you have to think that with I'm forgetting their names now, but there was two others in the Wyatt family, Braun Strowman and the third member that's still alive. You'd have to think they could bring in the three living members, since they seem to be bringing in all the WWE guys. Remember when they said that they weren't going to do that? And now they have actually done that, even with that 2.0 group that used to be known as Everrise when they were NXT jobbers. They even signed those two. And by the way, they were jobbers on the Canadian independent scene as well. And there's so much better talent out there on the Canadian independent scene than those guys who already had a chance to get over and failed. Mike Bailey is one guy that's better than them. So is Jeremy Prophet, the current Canadian heavyweight champion, as is Rene Dupree, who really should get another shot. He's in better shape than ever and a phenomenal wrestler. He is going to have his shot at the Blood Hunters Great North Wrestling title and Texas title. Blood Hunter is still the Texas heavyweight champion next Saturday on the 7 p.m. event in Kingston, Ontario. There has also been a 3 p.m. event added. So there's going to be 2 Great North Wrestling tapings in one day in Kingston, Ontario next Saturday. You can get your tickets at the door or at ticketweb.ca. I've been going through hell dealing with these COVID restrictions, which the rules are getting worse, far worse than when I originally started planning this event. So you can safely say there's not going to be another Great North Wrestling event this year. So make the trip out. If you're from Ottawa or Toronto, it's only 2 hours away. Go to one or both of these events. Tickets are limited, so get them in advance if possible. I found this picture today that I took of Steve Austin beating up Triple H back on November 21st, 1996 in Hull, Quebec. I was looking for some pictures for my book that I'm working on right now. And I looked up this show. It had 1,732 fans, and Steve Austin won this match by disqualification. And the interesting part about that is that was the last WWE show ever in Hull.